It begins at 2:17 a.m., a mechanical howl tears through the darkness over Krakow, low, industrial, relentless. The sound is designed to be unmistakable. Every citizen knows what it means. Danger, imminent, real, but no one expected to hear it tonight. Not here, not now. Within 90 seconds the sound multiplies. One siren becomes 10, then 50, then hundreds. Across the entire nation of Poland, every civil defense alarm activates simultaneously. From the Baltic coast to the Carpathian foothills, the night is consumed by a singular unbroken wail. In apartment blocks and farmhouses alike, people wake with a jolt. Hearts pound. Hands fumble for phones. The first assumption is always the same. This is a test, a mistake, a malfunction. But the sound does not stop. It grows. It merges into a wall of noise so thick it feels physical. The air itself seems to vibrate. In Warsaw, lights flicker on in thousands of windows. Silhouettes appear on balconies, staring at the empty sky. No aircraft, no explosions. Only the sirens screaming into the void. At 2:19 a.m., the first calls flood emergency lines. Operators repeat the same phrase over and over. We have no information. Stay inside. Wait for official communication. But there is no official communication. The national broadcast network is silent. Radio frequencies crackle with static. Television screens display only emergency slates with a single sentence. Await further instruction. The words loop endlessly, sterile and cold, offering nothing. By 2:22 a.m., the confusion hardens into something sharper. Fear. The sirens were built for one purpose: to warn of incoming attack. Air raids, missiles, war. And yet no announcement follows. No explanation, no context. The absence of information becomes more terrifying than any threat. In that vacuum the human mind fills in the worst possibilities. Some think of Russia. Others whisper about nuclear escalation. A few remember the old drills from decades past, when the Cold War was not history but daily life. This feels the same. Only this time it is not a drill. Social media explodes. Hashtags trend globally within minutes. Videos flood the platforms. Shaky phone footage of people running into streets, pointing at the sky, waiting for something to appear. Comments section become echoed chambers of panic. Someone in Gdansk posts a grainy image claiming to show fighter jets overhead. Within seconds, it is shared 10,000 times. No one verifies it. No one has time. Fear spreads faster than fact. At 2:25 a.m., reports arrive from neighboring cities. Lublin, Poznan, Wrocław all confirm the same phenomenon. The sirens are active everywhere. This is not a localized malfunction. This is nationwide, and then the pattern expands. Alerts surface from border towns in Lithuania and Slovakia. Their systems are triggering too. Within 8 minutes, half of Central Europe is awake, staring at the same trembling horizon, listening to the same mechanical scream. NATO monitoring stations in Germany and Belgium detect nothing unusual. No radar contacts, no missile signatures. The European Space Agency confirms normal satellite conditions. The skies are empty, and yet the sirens continue. The contradiction is maddening. If there is no threat, why are the alarms sounding? If there is a threat, why is no one saying what it is? At 2:31 a.m., the power grid begins to fail. not everywhere, not all at once, but in sections. Street by street, district by district, the lights go out. First in southern Poland, then spreading north. The blackouts are surgical, almost deliberate. In some towns, only the residential blocks lose power. In others, entire industrial zones go dark. The national grid operator issues no statement. Emergency generators kick in at hospitals and government buildings, but for most civilians the world simply dims. Television stations flicker and die. The emergency broadcast loops once more, then vanishes, replaced by static, replaced by nothing. In the absence of light and information, the sirens become the only constant. They are everywhere. They are everything. The sound is no longer just a warning. It is the event itself. By 2:40 a.m., something fundamental shifts. The fear transforms into calculation. Parents wake their children and dress them in silence. Drivers grab keys and head for gas stations. The highways begin to fill. There is no official evacuation order, no government directive, but the instinct is primal. When the sirens scream and the lights go out, you run. At 2:45 a.m., the first wave of traffic surges westward. Cars pour onto the motorways out of Warsaw, Krakow, and Łódź. Headlights stretch in unbroken lines toward the German border. Fuel stations overflow within minutes. Pumps jam. Electronic payment systems fail. Cash becomes the only currency, and there is not enough of it. Arguments erupt. Shoving matches turn violent. At a station outside Radom, a man pulls a knife over the last available jerrycan. Police are called, but cannot respond. Their radios are dead. In the cities, those without cars begin to walk. Families with backpacks and blankets move through darkened streets, guided only by moonlight and the glow of phone screens. Battery levels drop rapidly. The cellular network is collapsing under the weight of millions trying to connect simultaneously. Calls fail. Messages do not send. The digital infrastructure that promised constant communication is useless. People are alone in a crowd of millions. By 2:53 a.m., a new layer of chaos emerges. A message appears on encrypted chat groups, claiming to be from the Ministry of Defense. It states that multiple unidentified aircraft have violated Polish airspace, and that citizens should seek shelter immediately. The message spreads instantly, but within minutes another post surfaces contradicting it entirely. This one claims no breach has occurred and that the sirens are the result of a technical error. Both messages look official. Both are shared thousands of times. Neither can be verified. The contradictory information fractures reality. Some believe the first message and flee faster. Others believe the second and remain in place, paralyzed by indecision. In the absence of a single authoritative voice, every rumor becomes equally credible. Truth ceases to exist. Only belief remains, and belief is a choice shaped by fear. At 3 a.m., the Polish government convenes an emergency session in an underground command bunker beneath Warsaw. The Prime Minister attempts to establish satellite contact with NATO headquarters in Brussels. The connection is unstable. Audio cuts in and out. Intelligence reports conflict wildly. One source claims a cyber attack has crippled the national alert system, triggering the sirens automatically. Another insists the activation originated from multiple regions simultaneously, a pattern no simple hack could explain. A third suggests electromagnetic interference consistent with military-grade jamming equipment. No consensus is reached, no decision is made. The meeting dissolves into arguments. Ministers shout over one another. The Director of Civil Defense admits that the system was designed to be tamper-proof, yet here it is, compromised entirely. If the sirens can be weaponized, what else can? Traffic lights, water treatment plants, the electrical grid itself? The realization is chilling. Modern infrastructure is fragile by design. Efficiency has replaced resilience, and now that weakness is exposed. Above ground, the sirens wail on. The sound has become part of the atmosphere, a constant pressure against the skull. Those still in their homes begin to experience physical symptoms: headaches, nausea, disorientation. The frequency of the alarms is designed to pierce through walls and windows, to be inescapable. After 40 minutes of continuous exposure, the human nervous system begins to fray. At 3:15 a.m., live drone footage captures something extraordinary. The highways out of Poland are packed solid. An estimated 500,000 people are on the move. Cars, buses, bicycles, and pedestrians form a single river of bodies and metal flowing west. Border checkpoints to Germany and the Czech Republic are overwhelmed. Guards, uncertain of any official protocol, wave vehicles through without inspection. The borders effectively cease to exist. In hospitals, emergency rooms prepare for mass casualties. Stretchers are lined up. Blood supplies are checked, but no patients arrive. The medical staff wait in silence, listening to the sirens, wondering what they are preparing for. One nurse describes the experience simply: "We did not know if we were waiting for victims or for the end." At 3:30 a.m., the European Union convenes a virtual crisis meeting. Defense ministers from across the continent join the call. The conversation is brief and inconclusive. Germany reports no unusual radar activity. France confirms that its nuclear early warning systems are inactive. The United Kingdom states that its intelligence agencies have detected no credible threat. Poland is alone in its panic, yet the panic is undeniable. Satellite imagery shows the exodus in real time. This is not a false alarm. This is a collapse. The meeting ends with no resolution. NATO activates Article 4, allowing for consultations on security matters, but stops short of Article 5, which would classify the event as an attack. No one knows what to classify it as. Is it a cyber attack? A systems failure? A psychological operation? The ambiguity is paralyzing. At 3:35 a.m., the world is fully awake. News networks in every major capital broadcast live coverage. Anchors struggle to fill airtime with speculation. Words like malfunction, hack, and interference are repeated endlessly, losing meaning. In Washington, Pentagon analysts review satellite feeds, searching for evidence of an air incursion. They find nothing. In Moscow, state media remains silent, offering no comment. The silence is interpreted as confirmation by some, denial by others. Conspiracy theories proliferate. One claims the event is a NATO drill that went wrong. Another suggests it is a prelude to a false flag operation. A third insists it is a test of civil obedience, a psychological experiment conducted by unnamed elites. By the time these theories reach mainstream platforms, they are no longer theories. They are accepted facts repeated by millions. At 3:45 a.m., neighboring countries begin to activate their own civil defense protocols. Sirens sound in bordered towns across Lithuania, Slovakia, and Germany. The contagion spreads. What began as a Polish nightmare becomes a continental crisis. Air traffic controllers reroute commercial flights away from Central European airspace. Pilots report seeing flashes on the horizon, but ground radar confirms nothing. The contradictions pile up, each one deepening the sense that reality itself has become unreliable. At 3:52 a.m., an encrypted broadcast finally reaches public radio frequencies. The message is calm, measured, and direct. This is not an attack. Remain indoors. Do not evacuate. The alert system has been compromised. We are working to restore control. The voice is authoritative, official. But by now the roads are clogged with cars. The cities are half empty. Trust has evaporated. Some hear the announcement and stop driving. Others assume it is a lie designed to prevent panic. In crisis, belief is a choice, and every choice feels like survival. At 4:07 a.m., the sirens stop. No countdown, no warning. The sound simply ceases, leaving behind a profound, ringing silence. For the first time in 3 hours, the world is still. People freeze in place, some in their cars, engines idling, some on foot mid-stride, some standing barefoot on balconies, staring at the empty sky. The stillness feels unreal, almost hostile. The dawn is beginning to glow faintly on the horizon. The sky, untouched and empty, offers no answers. Emergency channels confirm what many have already suspected. The alert system was triggered simultaneously across multiple networks, likely by a coordinated cyber intrusion. The identity of those responsible remains unknown. Forensic experts state that the attack was too precise to be random, too contained to be foreign. The paradox deepens. If no nation attacked, who did this? If it was internal, why? The questions outnumber the answers by orders of magnitude. In the hours that follow, the exodus reverses. The highways that were choked with fleeing civilians now fill with people trying to return home. Gas stations are dry. Convenience stores are looted. The social contract, so carefully maintained by infrastructure and law, has cracked. Police attempt to restore order, but the damage is psychological. Trust in systems, in government, in technology has been shattered. By sunrise, officials appear on television to reassure the public. They insist that the threat was never real, that the response was an overreaction driven by misinformation. But the people remember the sirens. They remember the silence. They remember the darkness. The next time the alarms sound, no one will know whether to believe them. Every future warning will carry the shadow of this night. A night when a sound meant to protect instead revealed how fragile civilization truly is. At 5:17 a.m., as light spreads across the horizon, the streets slowly empty. The world resumes its rhythm. Markets open. Traffic flows. But beneath the surface, something has changed. The illusion of safety has been exposed. The belief that systems will hold, that authority will guide, that information will arrive in time, all of it has been tested and found wanting. The night the sirens never stopped ended without a single casualty. No bombs fell, no missiles launched, no invasion came. And yet the damage is incalculable. A nation has been moved by sound alone. Millions fled not from danger, but from the absence of certainty. The lesson is clear. In the modern world, fear is a weapon more powerful than any bomb. It requires no warhead, no soldier, no declaration. Only doubt, only noise, only the collapse of the one thing that holds society together, trust. And in that collapse, a truth emerges. We are not as far from chaos as we believe. The distance between order and panic is measured not in miles or weapons, but in seconds, in the time it takes for a siren to wail, for a light to go out, for a voice to fall silent. In that instant, the old world does not just end. A new, harder one begins.